I hope everything is okay. Good. Students, this is Grade 5 English Language Home Tutorial class. This program is brought to you by City Government of Addis Ababa Education Bureau in collaboration with Addis Media Network. Students, do you remember what we learned in the previous class? Nice. In the previous class, we talked about base noun and compound nouns. Here, students, base nouns are a single word or maybe a single noun that can be said root word or root noun. Example, sun, rain, winter, spring, autumn. These are single word or maybe single noun, okay? Good. Another one is about compound nouns. Compound nouns are the nouns which are made up of two or more nouns. For example, sunlight, sunflower, spring flower, rain coat. When we say this, they are what? Compound words. Is it clear? They are replaced by one single pronoun. So they are said compound nouns. Good students, today we are going to talk about adverbs of frequency in simple present tense. Okay, students, before we go to our lesson, I'm going to tell you the objectives of our today's lesson. Today is just about adverbs of frequency. So, at the end of today's lesson, you will be able to describe the function of adverbs of frequency. The second objectives of our today's lesson is you're going to talk about order of time expressions or position of time expressions. And then you're going to make sentence. Good students, here is the topic of our today's lesson. Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. Students, before we say something about adverbs of frequency, you have to know that there are so many types of adverbs of frequency. Types of adverbs. These are adverbs of time, adverbs of frequency, adverbs of degree, adverbs of place, and adverbs of manner. Among them, our today's business is about adverbs of frequency. Okay, students, do you know what adverb is? Nice. Students, an adverb means here, an adverb modifies verb, modifies adjective, and also it modifies another adverb. Another adverb. So students, let me give you one example for the first one. This means an adverb which modifies verb. Example, he always goes to school. In this sentence, can you tell your parents which is verb, which is adjective? Good student. The word goes is verb here. What about always? This is adverb. Nice student. So here the word always just modifying the word goes. This means an adverb modifies a verb. Come on to the adjective. An adverb modifies adjective. Here, he is always happy in his result. Look, students, in this sentence, the word happy is adjective, yeah? Nice. This one is adjective. What about always here? This one is adverb. Nice, student. So here, the word always just modifying the adjective happy. Nice. What about another adverb? For example, he sometimes late. He sometimes late. In this sentence, here, the word sometimes is adverb. What about late here? This one is also another adverb. So, the word sometimes can modify in another adverb. Just the word late is adverb. So, an adverb can be used to express or to modify one adverb, adjective, and a verb. Good students. So let's go to about adverbs of frequency here. Adverbs of frequency. Students, do you know what about adverbs of frequency? We can use adverbs of frequency to answer the question, how often? Adverbs of frequency answers the question, how often? This means it answers or it shows us the repetition or the redundancy of something. Clear? Good students. Come on here, so. For example, let's say the talk between Mr. A and Mr. B. Here, how often do you go to school? How often do you go to school? Students here, when we say how often, we are asking the repetition or the redundancy of how that person goes to school. So here, we can answer him, maybe Mr. B can answer, I sometimes or I always. I always go to school. Look, the word always answer the question, how often? The repetition, okay? Maybe you can make another sentence. How often do you visit your uncle? How often do you visit your uncle? Let's say this one is the response of Mr. B. Mr. B can say, I sometimes visit my uncle. Here the student, the word, how often is just answered by the word? Sometimes. It's a repetition, okay? And that's why we can use another words. Okay, that's all. Good student. Let's go to the next point. Students, I'm going to say something about the order of adverbs of frequency. The order. Order of adverbs of frequency. Okay, students, we can put their order from the very or maybe most often to the least often. Let me put it from most often to the least often. For example, here, we can put this one always. Always. Then, usually, the next one should be often. Sometimes. Sometimes. What about the next? Rarely or seldom can be used interchangeably because they have very slight difference. And then we can say never. Good students, here are the difference when we put them from most often to the least often. Always, if you are sure 100%. I always go to school means you are not late. You're not absent from the class, okay? Usually means just around 80 or 90% you're late from school. Or maybe you're not doing something else. Often, just around 70%. Sometimes, maybe around 50 to 40%, yeah? Sometimes, 50 to 40%. And then here, this one is around 20 or 20 to 10%. But this one is 0, okay? Nice students. Now, let me give you an example using this adverbs of frequency. Here, for example, when we say, I always go to school. Look, I always go to school. This means, in this sense, always means every day, okay? Every day. So here, this is verb, adverb, adjective. Yes, this one is adverb. Adverb of what? Adverb of frequency. So here, this is subject is first person singular. So we have to use here verb 1 or infinitive without s, es, or ies. Is that clear? Good students. So what about this one here? He sometimes watch TV. He sometimes watch TV. Can we say here watch or watch? Is the sentence right or wrong? Am I right? Students, please tell your parents. Is this sentence written correctly? Yes? I hope something wrong. Which one is that? Here, this verb should take what? Es. Es, because the subject is, yes, the subject is third person singular. We're talking about simple present tense, something which is just taking place again and again. So the verb should be verb with s, es, or ies. It depends. Nice, students. Okay, what about if the subject is they? They never read magazines. They never read magazines. Here, we didn't add s here. Why? Because the subject is not third person singular. Is it clear? Good. So, the word never the word sometimes and always are what? Adverbs of frequency. Now, students, now I'm going to give you an activity, okay? Activity 1. Activity 1. Write the words in bracket. In bracket correctly. Question number 1. My mother sometimes make coffee. Number 2, they always, in the bracket here, read books. The third one, he never, in the bracket here, the word visit soft humor. Students, you have just to do this activity, you have only 2 minutes. Do it. Well done. I hope you did it. Nice student here. My mother sometimes blank make coffee. My mother sometimes blank make coffee. So, what about the subject here? The given subject is third person singular. So the word in the bracket should be with S, okay? So, we have to say, my mother makes coffee. Nice. What about the second one? They always blank read books. They always blank read books. They always read books because the subject is not third person singular. Is it clear? Good student. What about the last one? The last sentence here, he never blank in the bracket visit sophomore. So here the word visit is given in the bracket. This verb should be in verb S. visit, because the subject is third person singular. Nice students. Okay, let's go to the next point about the position of time expressions. Position of time expressions. Of time expressions. Students, do you know what time expressions of adverbs of frequency? Just like always, sometimes, never, rarely, seldom, often, and every day, every week, once a month, and so forth. Is it clear? Nice. So come on. Let's say something about the position of the expressions. Come on. Especially adverbs of time. Adverbs of time expressions, just like sometimes, always, usually, often, never, rarely, and also seldom, are the types of expressions which are in one word, okay? In one word. At that time, they goes between what? Between subject and the given verb. For example, we can say, he never, here, he never insult his friend here. He never insult his friend. So the word insult is here, should take S. So which one the subject here? Here. Which one the verb? This one. So if the given word is one word, just this one is one word, it goes between the subject and the given verb. I always read book. Come on, I always read book. The word always come between the subject and the given verb read. Because they are what? They are adverbs of frequency time expressions, which is just one word. They are one word adverbs of frequency time expressions. Is it clear? At that time, they can be used between the subject and the verb. Clear, student? Good. Okay, we can use except, never. Except, never. Just like always, sometimes, often, rarely, usually, these words can go as the beginning of the sentence. For emphasis, okay? For emphasis. But most of the time, they go to between the subject and the verb. What if the given subject is just verb to be and others? For example, we can say here, he is always, okay? He is always happy. Here, verb to be is given here between verb to be and the given adjective or adverb. He is always happy. It can go here. And also we can say, always my sister reads book. We can use as a beginning because this one is for emphasis, for attention, okay? Nice. What about adverbs of frequency which are maybe more than one word? Just like every day, every time, once a week, once a month. Okay? This word is most of the time goes at the end of the sentence. Okay? But for attention, we can use at the beginning of the sentence. Example. We can say here, every day, my mother cook dinner. When we say here, the word every day is here. We can use. And that's what we can use as a beginning, as the end of the sentence. We can say, my mother, S is here, my mother cooks dinner every day. It can be used, okay? We can use at the beginning or as in. Just when we use as a beginning, this one is just for rotation. Nice students. Okay, now let me give you another activity which will be done within 1 minute. Activity 2. Activity 2. Underline the correct word. Underline the correct word. Question number 1. He blank here always reads or reads always the book. Number 2. We blank here are sometimes late or late sometimes from school. From school. Students, you have only 1 minute to do it. Students' parents, please help them, okay? Encourage their attempt. Well done, I hope they did it. Nice. So which one is the correct answer for question number 1? Underline the correct word. He always reads or he reads always the book. Good. We have to say the given word here, always, is just one word, okay? So it should go between the subject and the verb. So the answer should be, he always reads. Nice. What about the second one? We blank are sometimes late or late sometimes from school. Here it's third person. I mean, this one is about verb to be. Okay? He blank are sometimes late. We are sometimes late or we late sometimes. We have to say what? We are sometimes late because this one is verb to be. Is it clear? We cannot say we late sometimes are. Sorry, are should be here. Are. So the answer should be this one. That's all, students. Our today's topic is just about adverbs of frequency, okay? We talked about adverbs of frequency. We use adverbs of frequency to talk about the redundancy of something. How something happens again and again, okay? And time expressions are used just every day, every week, sometimes, always, usually, and so forth can be used. Is it clear? Good students. See you. Thank you.
Adverbs of frequency. What are adverbs?